that. Just one of our very own best EU players, maybe one of the world's best players. Our very own Tord Reklev, who was a world's finalist in 2023.
Yeah, of course, no stranger to the top tables, of course, Tord. But funny about Tord going into this tournament, we saw a little post on X, of course, had a little sneak peek of his deck. He's bringing the spice for sure to this tournament.
Yeah, he is playing a Lost Box variant, and he'll be going up against Marcin Ogórek with Lost Hisuian Gudra V-Star. Not a deck we've really thought we'd necessarily see so far, but putting himself in a great position to try and make it into day 2 as well. This is going to be a bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the initial archetypes anyway.
Yeah, of course. We talk about variants, but I didn't put Hisuian Gudra in that mix initially. But yeah, Marcin able to take it all the way into round 8 and especially into a winning as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic matchup there. I sort of saw a glimpse of like a metal energy, didn't quite realize it could have been a Hisuian Gudra V-Star yet, but this matchup is going to go the distance. Both players, of course, in a fantastic position to try and make it into day 2. Tord, no stranger to it. Marcin as well, just put himself in such a great position. Yeah. So let's just see how this matchup's going to play.
I can't wait to see what fireworks Tord's bring into this. Forget about Miraidon, but you know, he had all sorts of spice. He had, I think he had the Kyogre and also the Iron Hands as well.
Giving it all away, Ben.
I know. Can't wait to see what's up and coming. I'm sure the guys back home will be able to know what I'm talking about. But of course, we see here Tord up against the Gudra. Now, this is a matchup I don't think he would have been expecting necessarily coming into this tournament. So really interesting to see how he alters this game plan with this unique deck.
Let's see the prizes for both our players. There's the Roaring Moon EX. Hits the prizes there. And Hisuian Gudra as well. Just kind of sat there. Nothing too crazy from both sides of the board. So that Gudra, that Roaring Moon EX could have played a massive part.
It's pretty useful in this matchup for sure. And here we see the winning in, of course.
Winning in, Ben,
it's winning in. Come on, it's winning in. Come on. Get the excitement up and coming. Come on.
Let us know in chat who you think is going to take this down. You've seen kind of a bit of a sneak peek of the matchup already, but Marcin is kicking us off with that Artisan and that Comfy in the active spot. Tord starting that Radiant Greninja that we all know and love.
Yeah, we all love it. But who you got for this matchup? Backsy Tord.
Backsy Tord.
Backsy Tord.
I'm happy to back Gudra.
Yeah?
I've got a lot of time for Gudra.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if anyone's seen any of the pre-production and the videos that we've done before, Ben, you were a massive champion for Radiant Greninja as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Radiant Greninja, such a fantastic consistency card in this meta. Being so versatile, able to add it to all sorts of decks, but most importantly with that Lost Zone deck as well. Really good synergy with this archetype, with the Mirage Gate, and also able to utilize that Moonlight Shuriken most importantly.
Yeah, and just as we mentioned Radiant Greninja, it was one of those targets from the flower selecting, and it's instantly kind of played by Marcin as concealed cards to draw more. As we do see now the pass over to Tord, will we start to get a bit of an insight into what else is in Tord's deck? We do see the concealed cards nice and quick there from Tord there, just discarding that dark energy into a Chorus's Experiment.
Yeah, eager to see what he's got cooking in this deck for sure. And here we see the first Chorus come down for Tord, picking up those 5 cards. And there we see the Kyogre, and the Kyogre straight in the Lost Zone. Going to be interesting to see what Tord's going to be expecting. You know, seeing the Comfey, double Comfey, and of course the Radiant Greninja on the field, he might be expecting just your plain old Lost Box or another Lost Box variant with of course the Roaring Moon or the Iron Hands. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how he reacts when he sees that Hisuian Gudra V come down.
Yeah, that's Tord there. It's just kind of going through to there, making sure he understands what is prized, what's usable. Plenty of playable cards in hand as well. Another Nest Ball available to start kind of going as soon as possible there. As we do see just the Comfey on the bench. We'll be looking to maneuver into it, start clocking up that Lost Zone counter. Switch card into the Comfey. Flower selecting, Lightning Energy And is that another Chorus in there?
Yeah,
doesn't have Chorus in hand, so selects it.
Yeah, it's quite an obvious choice there, unless he's going to be prioritising the lightning energy, which he's obviously not there. Nest Ball for another Comfey. You can imagine another flower selecting, bringing out the flower power here.
The flower power.
Yeah, I'm rolling with these, let me tell you.
What, rolling iron?
Ooh, nice one. Yeah, very good.
Out, yeah.
Very good. But here we see another flower selecting, of course. See the escape rope hitting the lost zone, and another Nest Ball. Towards rolling here. Got the Cramorant, sorry, out as well. Going to be taking that easy knockout on that Comfey.
Are you sure you're backing Tord? You keep rolling.
I keep rolling, yeah, I know. And then we see the first prize be taken for Tord. Down to 5 prizes already. And here we see Marcin take his turn. Water Energy hitting the discard pile with that concealed cards. Both players playing pretty fast here. And here we see the Colorus Experiment looking at the top 5, sorry.
Yeah, never forget, these are lost box decks at the heart, right?
Yeah, good point.
Typically they can be a little bit slower. Getting through 3 games can sometimes be fairly difficult because often you're giving up single prizes, as we currently see the board state just full of single prizes. No Hisuian Gudra V hitting the board, or one of Tord's special spicy EX cards, or V's himself that he's playing. I mean, you've already given it away with some of them, with the Iron Hands and the Roaring Moon. There's one more 1/1 line that he's playing, which is kind of unique to Lost Box.
I wanted to leave that one a surprise at least, but it's the 1/1 Palkia V-Star. Super interesting, and even more interesting, he's not playing an out to the Palkia V-Star. He's not playing any Ultra Balls, so he's just hoping to draw into it naturally. But yeah, interesting to see if he's going to be utilizing that Palkia for sure.
There's a Manaphy hitting the board, again, giving that additional protection from something like the Greninja, and it's then just a pass after the lost vacuum. No, not the greatest of turns here. I mean, Marcin will want to stick with the single prizer route where possible. But the Chorus Experiment, this does give sort of advantage towards Tord. If we do see some of the water and psychic energies, multiple escape ropes there as well. One easy choice, at least, with that Battle VIP pass hitting the Lost Zone.
Yeah, for sure. Let's strategize here, okay?
Strategize?
Let's strategize, okay? He's got multiple options here, Tord. He's got the Iron Hands. Of course, there are a lot of small HP Pokemon on Marcin's side of the board. He's got the Comfey. He's got the Manaphy. I guess the Radiant Greninja doesn't even matter for the Iron Hands, the Ampu, very much, because, of course, it hits for weakness. So Tord's theoretically already got game on board if he's able to utilize that Iron Hands.
Game on board.
It's got game on board.
Game on board. It's a massive play.
Absolutely love that phrase. It's great.
Game on board. But it is, I mean, he does grab the Roaring Moon. I mean, it's better than leaving it in the actual prizes itself. So, but, you know, if suddenly the Gudra does suddenly hit the board, it's an easy sort of instant knockout. Yeah,
he hasn't seen the Gudra yet, but I'm sure if he does, he's going to be slapping down that Roaring Moon pretty fast. With that.
There's a Lightning Energy, not revealing too much, I don't believe. Oh no, the Lightning Energy, one Lightning Energy.
One Lightning's already hit the Lost Zone.
And the Lost Zone. All, as we do see Iron Hands EX hit the bench. Mirage Gate.
Here we are, the Mirage Gate coming down pretty fast here for Tord. He's going to be putting those energies straight onto the Iron Hands, you would imagine.
I've already seen Joe in the background just back and forth with the hand motions. He's all for it. He is all for it, everyone.
Yeah.
Double Mirage Gate here. Of course, did he have the Lightning Energy in hand? So the energy attachment, there's the extra.
Yeah, he already has the Lightning in hand.
The retreat.
Of course, he's going to be using that energy for a pivot from the Comfey. Going to be opting for the double Darkness Energy on that Iron Hands EX. I think this is actually the first time we've seen Iron Hands on stream today, which is crazy.
Nah, we've seen it.
We've seen it?
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
We haven't seen it attack.
I've witnessed it. I haven't seen an Ampu very much yet.
Oh boy, are we in for a treat?
Here we are. Come on.
Amp
you very much. 2 prizes,
incredible.
sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll just
Thank you very much.
This is it. 3 prizes up now against Lost Box Hisuian Gudra V-Star. What's the way of retaliating against this?
I'm unsure, really, unless Marcin is playing any sort of disruption package, which he plays one of Iono. I don't imagine... He needs to deal with this threat, more importantly, right?
Yeah, has to take it out.
He needs to deal with this Iron Hand as quickly as possible. He does play the one-off Zamazenta, but unfortunately, it's not going to be doing enough damage with that 220 attack, of course.
Big, bulky, 230 HP Iron Hands. You cannot allow it to survive and take 4 prizes. Imagine.
Scary position to be in for Marcin. That Zamazenta does come down, though.
There it is.
It's going to be the only threat on board for Marcin to pose to Tord. And we see there the energy coming down, of course, on that Zamazenta. But like you said, Tord now down to 3 prizes. Such a dominant position for him.
Yeah, Zamazenta is out of range from an Ampy very much, only dealing 120 damage.
Yep.
Would leave 10 on it, but isn't ideal because, you know, you can still sweep and clean up with things like Sableye or anything else as well. Tord can gust around it.
It's such a big issue for Marcin now, this Iron Hands, because, of course, being a Lost Box, naturally, Tord will be playing things like Escape Rope, of course, for that sort of gust effect, so he is still able to pose a threat against these Comfeys, Manaphy, and the Radiant Greninja.
Yeah, because typically in this matchup, when you're a Lost Box Hisuian Guja V-Star deck, you want to be going down this single prize route.
Yes.
But when you're matched up against something which can now jump over your just single prize attackers and single prize Pokemon, you have to try and think about playing it a little bit differently. And it then just opens up a different avenue for other players to go down. So this is really, really big. 220 damage from that Retaliate attack. If a Pokemon was knocked out on your opponent's turn, this does 120 more. So 220 on the Iron Hands now, 10 HP left.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's enough for Marcin really here. You know, Tord's got so many options available to him. He's still got the Cramorant as well. But like we said before, Marcin has to be able to deal with the Iron Hands. There's no, there's 2 Sableye in the deck for Marcin. Of course, putting it down to 10 HP even is still going to be quite a threat for Tord. But I can imagine here just one Escape Rope will be all she wrote, really.
So Tord has to take a knockout here. If Tord was unable to take a knockout, that could actually leave quite an awkward scenario. Because it's a bit of a wasted attack from the Iron Hands itself. If Tord is able to use one of those Escape Rows, I believe one was actually went to hand from a Colress experiment on his previous turn. He can take another 2 prizes from Iron Hands. Marcin could retaliate with like an Iono and a Sableye, but would kind of set up a checkmate with that Cramorant on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, we know he has Roaring Moon in the hand as well. So if needs be, he can use the Roaring Moon as an attacker, and then we see coming down. Let me tell you. And that's a full retreat. That's a heavy boy. Full retreat cost, but of course, with Energy Recycler, he's going to be able to put those energies straight back in the deck and be able to utilize, of course, Mirage Gate once more.
Yeah, 2 already used. We'll have to try and use, I guess, at least 1. And then a hand attachment as well to be able to attack. Use Calamity Storm, take out the Pokestop, take out the Zamazenta.
Yeah.
And
I can't imagine he'll be using Frenzy Gouging. But
you never know.
Who knows?
You never know.
If he has to, if the cards are played in that direction, he's going to have to. But like we said, such a dominant position to be in. Of course, he doesn't want to put 200 damage on himself because, of course, Sableye
would clean up.
It would clean up for sure. And of course, Tord would only be on the 2 prizes.
It is.
And there we see
dark energy
the
attached.
manual attachment. And there we see
Calamity
the Calamitous Storm.
220 back on you, Zamazenta.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Have a bit of that.
And Tord's scenario here has 2 attackers to go. Still needs to take 2 prizes, of course, but this is a scenario where Iron Hands, you've done your job. Back to the bench now. You can rest. You can relax.
I tell you what, looking at this board state, somebody give Marcin a hug, because he's not going to be. He's just not dealing with this very well. He's got the 6 prize cards still remaining, and of course, a variety of attackers on Tord's field to be able to use.
In the scenario, Tord still needs to announce 2 attacks, of course. That Roaring Moon EX is another card that's just not easy for Marcin to take out in this scenario. we'll need to start utilizing things like the Sableye. But at this point, is it enough to be able to do so? As he does target the Sableye from the Ultra Ball, you know, now has 11 in the Lost Zone, so we'll be able to utilize Lost Mine as well.
Yeah.
Attachment of the Psychic Energy. It's live.
Yeah, it's live. It's certainly live. I mean, this does put Tord in a bit of a tricky situation. I guess he will need 2 attacks, like you said, to take the game now. But I imagine being so far in the prize race, that may not be a problem for him.
Yeah, you could see the Zamazenta's just been super rodded back in as well, because he wants to be able to retaliate on this Roaring Moon. At the same time, you also want to try and remove that Cramorant, because it's just an easy attacker.
Yeah.
So efficient when you're with 4 in the Lost Zone.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, Marcin could take a double knockout here with Iron Hands with just 10 HP left, and the Cramorant with 110. Is that the direction to go in? Let's see how Marcin takes this.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he knocks out here, because I guess taking out a Comfey will make that Iono more effective for next turn. Knowing that he at least survives another turn is going to be great for him. However,
just targets the active.
Targets the active. Interesting.
1 on the active so far.
1 on the active.
Many more damage counters to drop around.
And then he's going to be knocking out the pivot, yeah. So this makes Iono a more effective play, I guess, next turn. Taking out an extra consistency Pokemon on Tord's field. But still has to do something about that Roaring Moon EX in the active.
I think it has to do something about the Cramorant, in all honesty.
Yeah, that as well.
Like I said, because there's another efficient attacker, and you're only really going to be sort of retaliating with Sableye. Hopefully Zamazenta on the next turn, because that's why you set up the Roaring Moon EX. Yeah, big brain plays here. We've got to see how it's going to pan out.
It's certainly awkward. I mean, the problem for Marcin here as well is that he's going to be having to knock out the Roaring Moon at some point. You know, it's posing such a threat at the moment. He is on 3 prize cards remaining. Tord only has, you know, he does have 5 prize cards on the board with all of the Pokemon that are in play. However, he has to deal with the threat, because at some point he's not going to be able to gust, of course, with the Iono. You'd imagine that's going to be the play next turn. But interesting to see how he comes across.
Maybe you try and switch cart out of the Roaring Moon, get that damage off, put the Cramorant in the active spot, take the knockout, an easy knockout with Spit instantly.
Yeah.
Then it forces Marcin to somehow put 1 damage counter on the Roaring Moon, gust it up with a Zamazenta, with Mirage Gates. It's a lot to ask for. I don't even know if that's possible. Maybe putting 4 on a Roaring Moon might have been more ideal.
The question that comes to mind now is, does Marcin just scoop here? Because I think with Tord only on 1 prize after this turn, Marcin's effectively going to have to knock out the Roaring Moon and another Pokemon in this 1 turn, otherwise he's just lost, right?
Yeah, but it's a bit of a stretch. It is a massive, massive stretch here for Marcin. He's done well to kind of try and force Tord into awkward scenarios. You know, he forced Tord to have to use the switch card on the Roaring Moon just to kind of get less value, just healing 1 damage counter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Tord's board state is he has 2 attackers ready to go.
Yeah.
Just will need to take 1 more prize, and Sableye's just kind of sat there waiting. Well, I'm also here too. Don't forget about me.
It's all there for him. Of course, putting that Sableye onto the bench is another attacker, like you said.
Comfey down as well.
Yeah, Comfey down as well. Another consistency Pokemon. And then here we see... And then, like I said, with the second attacker now on board, the Calamitous Storm, of course, only doing 100 if there's no Stadium in play, which may not knock out Pokemon like Zamazenta. So he's just mitigating that threat if that does come out on the board.
Yes, it's Tord playing his very unique take on Lost Box right now.
Yeah.
We've seen some lists before with Lost Box Roaring Moon and Lost Box Iron Hands. I think Adam Hawkins was a player who played at LAIC, and maybe even this weekend with both of those, but not the Kyogre type version.
I think the last time I seen Tord play Lost Box was the original list. I say the original list with the Radiant Charizard, the super consistent multiple Clara, and there we see the scoop from Marcin.
We do see the concession. Tord will be taking this game 1 of round 8.
Yeah, too many threats for Marcin. Couldn't keep up with the pressure, couldn't keep up with the momentum from Tord's
that little wry smile there, little uptick on one side as he's just kind of taking this Binder drop of Lost Box Kyogre.
He's having a little evil giggle. He's like, no one expected this. No one expected this. I've shown everyone. But here we see Todd just shuffling up and looking like...
I can play other decks. Yeah. I can play anything.
Yeah,
and
guess what, everyone? I can play something else. So
but, you know, Hisuian Gudra is still a threat. You know, will Marcin go down a different route this time? Now that he knows Zamazenta's not able to stretch that far. Of course, Roaring Moon EX is an annoyance to deal with. And you don't really want to accelerate their prize taking, but they're going to try to anyway with the Iron Hands.
I mean, going into a game 2, it's always more of an open book, right? You get to see what your opponent's playing, you get to see what their game plan is, you get to see what they're playing, so, you know, you may be altering your game plan a little bit, like you said, maybe utilizing a bit more of that Hisuian Gudra V-Star. However, with Todd's ability to play just that use the frenzied gouging with Roaring Moon, it'll be interesting to see what Marcin prioritizes in terms of game plan.
Just so many options here. We do see the Radiant Greninja prize on Todd's side and the Cramorant prize on Marcin's side. So let's see how this is going to work out. Unfortunately, Marcin starts off with that Drapion V. Not for this matchup.
Not fantastic. Not now, please.
Not like this.
Please. This will be a story there, he'll tell his mates. Started Drapion, didn't I?
Yeah. My one chance. I wanted to try and take this game back in. I'm 5-1-1 right now, and this is not the time to be starting you.
Not ideal at all, but here we see the Battle VIP pass. Optimal, of course, having that in that starting hand, but getting the Comfey down, getting the Radiant Greninja, he's going to be wanting to draw pretty fast with this poor start.
Got the jet energy.
Got the jet energy.
Maneuver around, which is good.
Flower Plower, here we go, Flower selecting.
Power, I love it.
Just a VIP, I think that was a VIP pass.
It looked like one.
I don't know if that was.
There it is.
And there it is, yes. I don't know what he lost on there. It may have been an energy card. But here we see the second Battle VIP pass and the Hisuian Gudra.
To the front of the deck this time. It's different game plan.
Yeah, going
Remember,
for a different style.
one Roaring Moon is able to take it out.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what Marcin can do with this Hisuian Gudra.
I mean, it comes down to whether Tor can also draw well, because his deck has a lot of answers, right? It has Roaring Moon for the Hisuian Gudra. It has Iron Hands for all those single prizes. But Marcin's got to ask those questions of Tord. So as we do see a Manaphy coming, is that a Manaphy?
That is a Manaphy.
That was the wonderful character art there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've got to play it. If you can, play it. Yeah. But the, I guess naturally when you see a deck like Tord's being played right now, playing so many answers, you always ask yourself, how is he playing this many answers? This must be inconsistent. You're playing too much power.
Exactly.
However, Tord in that first game shown us how it's done, of course.
Demonstrating exactly why there's certain cards in his list.
Here we see Battle VIP pass of his own coming down. You can imagine it would be the Radiant Greninja we know is prize, so you can imagine it'll be a Comfey.
Maybe the Cramorant.
Maybe the Cramorant.
Start taking some easy prizes.
Early pressure for sure. And look at this deck. We saw 1-1 Palkia there. We saw the Kyogre. This is just crazy.
Well, it's wonderful to see just another bit of innovation in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. You know, it's not something you've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen Palkia connected and aligned and synergizing with Lost Box.
Yeah.
But, you know, here we are. Here we are in round 8 of Gdańsk Regional. And Tord is the man to do it.
And you know this is the style of deck where when people see it, this is going to be plaguing League Cups online and, of course, League Challenges as well. But here you see everybody wants a bit of fun, of course, and who doesn't love a Tord deck?
What do you mean? Your bit of fun is Snorlax.
Oh, come on. Give it a rest.
As we hit 4 in the Lost Zone now, Tord activating Spit Innocently with that wonderful ability, Lost Provisions.
Yeah, early pressure for Tord again. Benching the Palkia V, the origin form. Snap. Jinx. And here we see the Spit Innocently from Cramorant on that Comfey for the first prize of the game.
Yeah, another Pokemon that's just not the easiest to knock out either. Once you evolve it up, 280 HP.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for Marcin, and I guess Tord still well, of course knows now that they're playing the Hisuian Gudra, but not seeing that as a large threat. Of course, only doing 200 damage maximum, so not seeing that as an immediate threat on the Palkia V-Star.
Chooses the Lost Zone. It looked like Chorus's experiment. Maybe the hand already had another one already.
But let me tell you, Alex, he needs to evolve this Hisuian Gudra quick, fast. And there, just as I said it, he goes and does it.
Yeah, he just knew.
He just had it. Just had it.
Yes, I think he got it off the concealed cards. But it was vital he did to ensure that it is well protected. As it's just another
it's just a pass.
Remember, Cramorant is prized.
Yeah. So no early pressure for Marcin.
And Cramorant will be able to take 2 prizes here.
Yeah, and here we see the Palpad.
If he chooses to do so.
Yeah, if he chooses. But here we see the Palpad coming down for Tord. Just want to mention as well, the only supporters that Tord is playing is Colress's Experiment. So no boss.
3 poker gear.
3.
I'm only going to be hitting all of my Colress Experiment. But what we've seen with things like Kyogre, you don't really want to see any other supporter anyway.
Tord just wants to see cards. Tord just wants to see cards with Colress's Experiment get set up.
Yeah,
no other options. No Iono, no boss, nothing. Just going straight with the Colress. Of course, maybe seeing that he doesn't need any Gust because he plays the Kyogre, he plays the Iron Hands. He's just going to take advantage of whatever's in the active, or maybe even have some smart plays with Escape Rope.
I mean, with Tord's list and deck, once he hits 7, that's really the threshold he sort of cares about.
Yeah, that's the goal.
It's only 1 Sableye in the deck. So it's less so of a, I really need to get to 10 scenario. As he's already up to the 7 points, his Mirage Gates are live. Cramorant taking another knockout there. Hisuian Gudra in the active spot. Marcin will be having to try and set up something else as well, because that Roaring Moon is somewhere.
Yeah, really important there that he get the Colress as well, because only 5 in the Lost Zone. The Mirage Gate is, of course, only active with 7. So able to hit the 2 more there with the Colress. So now he's able to start using that Hisuian Gudra V-Star and take some prizes finally.
Yeah, it's going to be big here. Whether Tord is able to then retaliate with something like the Roaring Moon EX, that's going to be the key turn when it goes back over to Tord. Let's just see how Marcin can play out this turn as well. I mean, he's got a big hand himself. Both players don't play the most sort of hand disruption cards available.
Yeah, interesting to see how this evolves now. With that Hisuian Gudra V-Star, Tord's going to be wanting to look for his Roaring Moon quick fast, but with 2 Darkness Energy in the Lost Zone, you would think maybe not.
Yeah, just waiting for a couple of options there. That Hisuian Gudra will be able to start rolling. That Rolling Iron, 200 damage there, taking a prize. Marcin kind of trying to catch up on the prize race. 1 behind, of course, Tord having taken 2 with that Cramorant so far.
Ooh, opting for the Iron Hands there as well. I suppose with playing 4 Darkness Energy, it's still an option to him to use the Frenzied Gouging, but it's just going to make it that little bit harder. But who better to accomplish that than Tord, of course.
With an Escape Rope, you can maybe just start to utilize Iron Hands, take the 2 prizes that way.
The prize mapping here for Tord is very good, let's say that.
Yes.
It's very good, because with usually what Hisuian Gudra, the issue with playing against it was that they were able to take advantage of the board state, because they were able to say, I've got a very hard to knock out 2 prize Pokemon, and plus I've got 2 on board. I've already set up with 2 Comfey and my Radiant Greninja, let's say. So that's where it really shined. But Tord with the Roaring Moon EX, and of course, in addition with the having a helping hand with Iron Hands EX, is able to have a little bit of a versatile game plan against these, and I'm going to say it again, these squidgy 1 prize Pokemon.
Squidgy 1 prize. I mean, this is Tord literally showing his whole hand here.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all 3 of his 2 prizes on the board, ready to go, right? His Mirage Gating, he has Palkia V-Star, eventually to maybe use Star Portal to bring energies back where he needs it as well. That's another way of powering up Ampu very much. Yeah,
at first look, you see Tord's deck, other than the Pokemon count and the energy count, you go, this is pretty linear. But actually, with these new tools and these new Pokemon that from this Paradox Rift set, it just shows how versatile of a game plan that you can have. And, when we talk about this versatile meta as well, if you have so many options available to you with this Lost Box engine in this Mirage Gate.
Just want to double check. Look like Tord
Just want to double
may
check
have
here.
overdrawn from the Coruscant experiment, but we'll get confirmation shortly in a moment. I mean, he's in a good position, and as
I think he saw 6 from the Colorist's experiment, which is unfortunate. But we do have judges on hand.
I just want to also just double check. There were 2 prizes taken from that cram run as well from Tord, so there should be maybe 4 left on the prizes.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
So. Yeah.
But again, we'll get that all fully confirmed as well. You know, as both players are just kind of double checking. You know, we'll just double check, get the judges. That's what they're there for. They wanted to make sure that the game state is as clean as possible. But both players, you know, playing at a good pace, a very good pace.
Yeah, very good pace.
In reality, with this Lost Box matchup.
People talk about, you know, Lost Box being quite methodical in approach, you know, being a bit tame in terms of time. But, you know, these 2 players just showing how quick they can play, showing how efficient they can start to take prizes and take the game by storm.
Is it just the impact of Iron Hands again? It's Iron Hands EX.
Certainly
again.
shortens games.
Shortens games a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Being able to just kind of accelerate prize taking, your prize mapping, you know, the expertise you gave us on prize mapping.
Thank you so much.
is amazing. It just kind of gives us a bit of insight on how you're able to kind of jump over hurdles, right?
Yeah, for sure. So interesting to see. But tell us what you think, of course, of Tord's deck. Super interesting. Really interesting to see how he maybe evolved this deck.
Yeah, I want to know if there's anyone else out there who's ever tried Palkia V-Star, Origin Form Palkia V-Star in a Lost Box type variants.
Yeah. I need to have a quick conversation with him.
I think
maybe at some point. Say, how did you make this? How did you come up with this?
Yeah, my innovation is Snorlax. Right? Maybe find another Pokemon that's hard to take out.
I've had enough of this. You make me sound so boring.
Look, I've played it once, okay? It's a fantastic deck, but you're the one who knows and loves it more than I do.
I don't know about that. I certainly love it.
You certainly love it. No shortage of that, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's fantastic to kind of see, again, just small little innovations. We've mentioned this many times, even just on our round, but across the stream so far, just small little things can really make decks just really burst their way through.
Yeah, of course. And now we're back to the game. Double prize penalty, I believe, for Tord by the looks of it. Just getting that confirmation, and here we see it, of course. But we're back to the game. Colorist being played, looking at the top 5, and we're back in the action.
Looks like, yeah, there we go, just confirmation there. So Tord, again, still in a position, I think, still just to take 4 prizes left, right? And this Iron Hands is now powered up. This poor little Manaphy in the active spot does not like that.
No, this Iron Hands is pretty scary for that Manaphy, let's be sure.
Not Origin Form Palkia V-Star hit the Lost Zone as well.
Not only hitting for weakness, but of course taking double prizes here. Such a powerful attack, amp you very much. Here we see another Flower Power, Flower selecting. Of course, looking at the top 2, selecting 1. I think he opted for the Mirage Gate there as well.
We'll need to still just maneuver out. I mean, many options available. Holding many Mirage Gates.
Yeah, I mean, with this build especially, with these really awkward energy counts, you would have thought, with the Roaring Mooniacs and the Iron Hands itself, of course. You know, Mirage Gate's so useful.
Yeah, having to super
such an effective engine.
Some energy back into the deck to be able to Mirage Gate and utilize some of those core cards early on, powering up that Roaring Mooniacs as well. Just saying, well, I have the knockout on your Gudra. You're not able to take this.
No, of course. He's putting game on board already, let's say. But he does have that switch card in hand, so was able to attach both energy onto the Roaring Mooniacs, which is fantastic for him. But of course, as we said earlier, we can expect a switch card here into the Iron Hands to take 2 prizes here. Yeah,
and just what could you do towards us setting up that quote-unquote checkmate position?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, that Roaring Moon yet to have the final energy, but you know, there's an additional Mirage Gate, the final one of the deck, just to the active to be able to pivot around.
Oh, not opting to use the switch card, very interesting, but here we go. Manual retreatment here from Tord.
Oh, attachment from hand was still not even done yet either. Incredible scenes as we Amp you very much.
Putting himself only 2 prize cards away now from making day 2 here at the regional championships. An easy knockout, let's say, with the Iron Hands. Amp you very much.
Just that Gudra in the active spot now, staring down at a Roaring Moon on the bench.
Yeah.
Capable of gouging through that rolling iron attack.
Yeah, of course. I'd say now for Tord, only escape rope now will give him the game if he's unable to manually attach to the Roaring Moon. No, actually, that's 3 energy attaches. My mistake. Yeah, no, just a switch.
Just a retreat.
Just a retreat, yeah. What am I talking about? This is crazy.
But Marcin making it difficult.
Yeah. Marcin playing to his outs.
Maybe he has to gust something up to try and lock in the active spot.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. He does play 2 boss. However, in this situation, you know, you usually see an Iona, right? To try and disrupt your opponents. Trying to make it hard for them to get their outs. And here we see an escape rope. I imagine Tord will probably be going into a Comfey, perhaps. Now, this is really awkward on Marcin's side because, of course, if he's not dealing with any of these big threats on board, you know, it's going to make it very difficult for him.
Marcin just deciding who or which Pokemon to maneuver into. Tord instantly putting up the Comfey there. The Greninja goes to the active spot.
You see the concealed cards.
Looking for something to try and slow him down.
Might not do it there. Escape rope. And Hisuian Gudra V-Star. You'd imagine he was probably trying to find the boss for maybe a stall play.
Colress's experiment, but at the same time now, Tord, remember you did mention already holding that switch card.
Yeah, only escape rope as well if he's...
So it doesn't matter what comes up.
There's so many options. He's just got so many options here towards to be able to take the game. I can't imagine it'll go any other way.
Yes, Marcin's just kind of eyeing up every one of his last cards available to him.
And there's nothing more depressing here for Marcin but having a hand of that size and just not being able to do much in the face of the Roaring Moon and the Iron Hands. You see here a second escape rope
into
coming
the
down.
Comfey
Straight into another Comfey. Tord happy to just say...
Remember, Marcin was only on 9 and lost on that Sableye, not able to do much anyway. Tord,
and
I think the writing is on the wall. Tord Reklev has taken game 2 of round 8 and therefore the series and locks his position in day 2.
He's into day 2, Tord, in what fashion of doing so with that deck as well. But really showing the power of creativity here. The Iron Hands, the Roaring Moon, what a pairing.
Everyone interested in finding out what Tord was playing. That's why we have so many people watching in the area, in the arena as well, as Tord gives off a bit of a chuckle there. You know, this is not the deck we've known Tord to play in recent times. He's picked up Lost Box once again with his own little bit of innovation. I'm so excited to hear what his thought process was. You
usually see Tord playing maximum consistency, right? You usually see him playing these decks that draw as many cards as possible. He's the 4 research guy, you know. He's usually
4 research, 4 Tapu Lele once upon a time.
Yeah, of course. But you know, bringing this deck is very unusual of him. I'm really looking forward to hearing out from him.
But you know what? Still, Marcin still in a good position. 5-2-1 right now. So still with another winning in available for Marcin for the final round of round 9, because this was just a recap. This was round 8. We had Tord Reklev besting Marcin there. That Lost Box variant that Tord was able to bring to this tournament, taking down Lost Box, Hisuian Gudra V-Star. Yeah,
an unfortunate matchup for Marcin, I would say. Definitely going into this one, you know, like we said, Tord had just so many answers.
It was a lot of answers.
A lot of answers, and was unfortunately not able to, you know, keep up with the momentum, keep up with the ampy very much, keep up with the frenzy gouging. And unfortunately had to take the loss. But you know, like you said, in a great position going into the next round. Yeah, still everything to play for, right? It's 19 points you require for day 2. Tord's obviously made it through already with that 602 record now. He's currently unbeaten with this deck. But of course, Marcin's still in a fantastic position to still lock up a day 2 berth
and maybe take it even further. So wish him the best of luck as well, but congratulations so far. Still, even to get to this position.
Yeah. Even to get here into a winning position is an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, 100%.
And you should definitely be proud of doing that.
Over 900 players in Gdańsk regionals.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's not an easy feat, for sure. Not an easy
at
feat.
all.
We've both been there, you know, it's a lot of pressure. A long time ago.
Oh, cheers. Yeah.
For me as well.
All right.
But yeah. But you know,
That's why I'm here.
It's why
okay.
I'm here. But you know, like